Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna be late today. And not because I left late. I got on the road at 7. The usual. What's today? Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, September 23rd. Okay? Tuesday, September 23rd. How was you guys' Monday? Did it Monday? Did Monday? Did y'all get pissed off unnecessarily? I didn't. Not at all. I almost did a little bit. But then I was like, Nope. But, anywho. Well. ABC, Disney. Woo! After you lost that $4 billion. You said, all right. We're going to put Kimmel back on. As you should. How is everybody scared of one person? Everybody? Jump him. Why y'all not jumping him? I don't understand. I will not understand this. I don't understand how y'all, I don't know. Y'all love violence, but don't nobody want to jump him. I don't get it. But yeah, they're going to put Kimmel back on. I think he's supposed to come on. Either he came on last night and I missed it, or he's coming on tonight. And he's going to have Gavin Newsom as his guest. So my hope is that they both get up there and talk smack. My hope is that Jimmy does not apologize. And my hope is that he don't cut a check. Because cut a check to who and for what? Apologize to who and for what? So, yeah, they showed a couple of pictures of the Disney parks. Mickey was out there just eating his slice of cheese by himself. Mickey was like, what? I don't know how Mickey thought he was going to jump in the fight. What are you doing? That is a national embarrassment to Disney. What? All the movies y'all have trying to get me to believe certain things, and you going to do this? And now y'all got to backpedal and put Kimmel back on because you losing money. What did I say? Money matters. We live in capitalistic America. And so even if losing money is the reason to not bow down, then one reason is enough. But we cannot pretend money doesn't matter. It will always matter. Whether you have money or not, it matters. When you have money, it matters because you do not want to just unnecessarily be spending it. Rich people like to stay rich by not giving out money and you know what I'm saying? And poor people, we need money. Or we going to be homeless. Or we going to be down to the homeless shelter. And I ain't got time for that. But yeah, money matters whether you have some or not. Even if you got a little bit. It's like, don't you want to hold on to it? But yeah, they got to put Kimmel back on. So it's going to be interesting to see what he says. If he says anything, like how this is going to play out. Because apparently, they said that they didn't condemn what he said. They just said the timing was bad. Listen, the timing is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Kimmel been talking smack for years. And so now you know what I mean? Like, people die every day, B. And so, if that's the case, the timing is always off. People be dying every day. You know what I mean? For so-called political reasons. But I'll say it a million times. At no point do we witness an assassination. Okay? He was just murdered. People die every day, B. You tough. That's what we saw happen. We saw a murder happen. As if we was watching a show on television. It was shocking. Oh my God, it was appalling. That's not something you want to see with your real eyes, and it's actually happening. No, we don't want to see that, but we did. We did. And it's sad that he went out that way. But next up. Next case. You've got your guy, and y'all need to worry about that. I need the news cycle to come on. Enough. Enough. So hopefully, if Jimmy comes on tonight, hopefully that will take over some of the news cycle about this guy, because nobody had time for this. Not a minute. Lord, this traffic these 2 days been too much. This is the reason why I need to be working from home. Okay? I need some calories. I meant to give y'all a picture yesterday. My coworker picked some cherry tomatoes out his yard, and he gave them to me. They were so beautiful. I didn't get a chance to get a bite yet because I forgot. I had brought them home and then I forgot. But I bought some. I cleaned them off and then bought some to work today. So I'm gonna have that with some grapes. So anyway, guys, what's my point? I had to write me some notes or whatever because I wanted to talk to y'all about some stuff. Now, I mentioned about that CDC study that I did, and that's a separate video I'm gonna do. I might do that on TikTok. See if I go viral. That's what I need. I need a viral moment. I need to be getting paid on social media, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. But that's what I would love to happen, okay? Because that's the wave. That's a huge wave. Like, go get this social media money and stop playing. Okay? I take a break from my career, my current career, if social media wanted to just boom. If I was one of those people that could make social media money, but that's something you got to work on. But oh, what was my point? Oh, so the CDC study. So the CDC study came out in 2013. Okay, I remember when, as the conversations and the so-called gender war. There is no gender war. Okay. Again, there's no gender war happening. But as people call it a gender war, for lack of better words, I guess, but a CDC study came out. Now, here's what's important about that study. Because like I said, when it came out, I didn't read the whole thing. It had a lot of stats up there. And the study came out in 2013. However, the study was conducted between 2009 in 2011, I believe. I have the paper right there. I should have brought it out. But like I said, I want to do a separate video about that because it's important. Because when everybody talks about this study, nobody's pulling the paperwork. Nobody is pulling who did the study. Nobody is saying the details of the study. And this is extremely important. Okay? Now, when I mentioned the study, my memory of it was, I think they only surveyed 10,000 people. And that's true. When I went back and read the study, and I pulled the copy of it too. I pulled the copy, so everybody said, oh, the CDC. The CDC said black men are the most involved. And when my comment was, if they're the most involved, then they should also point out that means that single motherhood isn't a problem. Okay? You can't be involved and have a problem with the primary caregiver. Which one is it? Okay. Now, statistically, that wouldn't make sense to think that both can be true. They're not. Okay. This is a scenario where both cannot be true. Okay. We all know a million things to be true at once. This is not one of those things. Okay. The study was conducted with 10,000 people. 3,930, let's just say, to round up, were fathers. Out of 10,000 people, 3,900 were fathers. What am I saying, guys? That there's no way that study matters at all. Because even out of 10,000 men, only 3,000 were fathers. 3,000 people does not a statistic make. Okay? That's not true. But more importantly, how many years ago? It's 2011? Enough. Okay? I'm going to pull that and when I do the video, I'm gonna let y'all know, because I'm gonna read off, because I've already did my highlighting and everything. It's just that being on social media takes time, and I just realized I need to swap my consumption for my content is what I need to be doing or whatever. But it's so time consuming that it just feels like, oh my God, like, but I need to point that out, because when people point that out, it pisses me off. It pisses me off, because that's all people know is that the study happened, but they don't know the results of the study for only 3,900 people. 3,900 men were fathers out of the 10,000 that they put together. And yes, the way that study was measured, it was said that based on how they did the study, black men can then say, out of the 10,000, they're the most involved. The way the study was conducted is that it was like a self study, you could say. So they would ask the men questions, and then the men would say, oh yes, this is the percentage, or this is how many days a week that I eat out with my kids, take them here, do this, do that, do that. So of course there's, those numbers are skewed, because we know people like to lie, that people like to look good. And I'm not saying all of them, I'm not saying all 3,900 were lying. I'm saying, I don't know what amount was lying, but there were some lies in there where we all are sure of that. We talked about lying the other day. Okay? The study is not worth a damn, because again, the study was done well over 10 years ago. It was conducted with 10,000 people, and out of those 10,000 people, 3,900 were fathers. And then you have to chop that up. A lot of people don't understand how statistics really work. And that's why people just be spewing, running their mouth, basically, thinking they can spew statistics and say things like, oh, studies show. What study? Did you read it? Is it a peer-reviewed study? What are you talking about? And so that gets on my nerves a lot, because for the people who do read studies, the people who know how to read statistics, understand them, interpret them, and talk about them, it's an insult, because you're not doing the work of really being able to read and understand how statistics breaks down, and what you're really looking at when you talk about those numbers. Okay, so again, out of 10,000 men, 3,900 of them were fathers. Now, all fathers aren't biological fathers, and so that counted as well. So we were also discussing men and father roles, which includes stepfathers. For the most part, it was like stepfathers and then bio fathers. So, for that particular study, it was determined that, black men were the most involved. But it's only for 3,900 men. So that can't be true. But more importantly, it's well over 10 years. That study was well over 10 years ago. And so what are we talking about? And so enough about that. My point to you is I'm going to get that paperwork out, and I'm going to do a video about that, because I think I'm gonna go on TikTok and do that. But yeah, we're not gonna just let this rock. I'm not gonna let it rock. I got something to say about this. And so it's imperative that people understand how that study was conducted, with who, what was the determination, how old the study is, and why those numbers don't matter right now. And it doesn't even mean, I'm not saying that to say, I'm hitting the highway right now. I'm not saying that to say that maybe more fathers got surveyed, and maybe was another study done. Not that I know of, not when I Googled it and looked it up, but that doesn't mean I didn't miss it. I could have missed something. But it's important for us to not be focusing on that study, because again, it was over 10 years ago, with only 3,900 people, fathers, out of 10,000. So it's not like they sent the study that it wasn't like a census study when they sent it to everybody in the damn nation. That's not how that played out. But yeah. So something else I want to say. I'm going to talk about multiple things today, because multiple things came up as I'm looking on social media or whatever. Now let's discuss tipping and splitting the bill. Everybody is panini'd. Listen, I guess I will get there when I get there. Anyway, tipping and splitting the bill. What do you guys think? What is your opinion? Because I certainly have one. Now, I will say, one of my first experiences with splitting the bill happened very, very late in my life. And I mean extremely late. I'm talking when I first moved back to New York. So that would have been 2014, right? Did I move back in New York? Yeah, 2014 I moved back to New York. My first real experience with splitting a bill happened when I was in New York or whatever. And I was shocked and surprised, because not about having to split the bill, but the fact that I had something to say about it. I was shocked and surprised that my opinion about it at the time, or my surprise about it at the time, was not taken very positively by the group that I was with. And these were my girls, but I still didn't, I've always eaten with my girls. You know what I'm saying? In 2014, I'm real grown at that point. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown now. I'm 36 in 2014. But I had never really split the bills with none of my friends or when I went out. It always had been, they just bought us our tickets. I never experienced splitting the bill and everybody pulling out calculators or anything like that. Like the way that people talk about it, I didn't know anything about that really. It just never came up or was an issue. Every time I went out, hung out, and spent money, I always had my own ticket, or somebody else was paying, right? Either somebody was paying for me, like if I'm partying, clubbing or whatever, or if I'm out sitting down with people and eating, I got my own tab, you know. But when you see these things on social media and people are all upset, it's like, And to me, this goes back to this involves splitting the bill and tipping. To me, is very close knit with the whole 50-50 thing. Okay, I'm not going 50-50, not with a man. But I don't need to. I'm never gonna have to go 50-50 with a man, really, because I'm not going to be living with one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't have to go 50-50. I'm never going to be dating a man and paying for my own dinner. If I have to pay, we will not see each other. Please understand. I have never paid for my own meal ever with a man, and that's never going to happen. The least, remember back in the day when men like to feed you? They want to see you eat. They want to know you can put it down. They want to see you put a steak down. Nowadays, it's like, they don't even want you to order steak at all, okay? The 2 for $20 at Chili's is putting people out of their homes, okay? It's putting people out of their home. But yeah, I have never, ever paid for dinner. I've never been asked to pay. And I find it embarrassing if I have to pay. Like, what? You trying to take me? I don't care if I want to go out. Just because I asked you out don't mean I'm paying. And I get it. It's 2025 and the men want to be wined and dined. And I'm not mad. I guess I am mad at the men for wanting that. Because it's like a leader can't make me pay for anything. Lead the way. Show me what it looks like to pay, that you can pay for something. You can't pay the $5, I understand. But, I don't understand. That's not true. Let me make sure I'm being accurate with my point. I don't understand. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I'm not paying for dinner. So, if that means I got to eat by myself, then I will. If that means I will only have my girlfriends to eat with, then I will. Because when me and my girls go out, baby, we buying whatever we want on the menu. Okay, a couple of drinks, and we might get a dessert, maybe, if we got enough room for it. But yeah, when me and my girls go out, we're not out here trying to OD like, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. And so when I go out with a man, it can't be a problem, because if that's the case, I could have went out with my girls and had a guaranteed good time. I will not be paying for some man to get to know me. I will not be paying half for him to get to know me. No. You want to get to know me? You need to know right off the gate, I can't pay the $5. I cannot be paying. And don't ever show up without no money, because what did Kanye, I think Kanye said it best, is dishes in the back, you got to roll up your sleeve. You forget forget your wallet if you want to, sir. How can you can't embarrass me when you forgot your wallet. That's not an embarrassment for me. I will pay for if you forget your wallet with me, I will pay for my meal and get up, okay? Give me my doggy bag and I'm gone. Because I'm not paying. I'm not paying for dinner. Could have had dinner at my damn house. Could have had this dinner by myself without having you asked me what the hell my favorite color is. Like, get the hell out of here. Got time for all that damn small talk and a payment. Ain't nobody doing that. But anyway, so splitting the bill. I don't have a problem splitting the bill with my friends, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know all of the details behind splitting the bills, which is like, if you're gonna split the bill, you know, if you're looking around to see what everybody ate, you know, everybody should be eating, I guess, within the same price range or spending the same amount. Like, all of these little details are a little too much for me. Now, while I don't mind splitting the bill with friends that I know who can pay, I don't have a problem with that. But I also, what I do have a problem with is the idea that I'm supposed to keep up with what everybody's ordering. So in the event that we split the bill, nobody feels like they're getting slighted, okay? Now me, when I go out to eat, I'm going to order what I want, period, okay? I want 2 appetizers, minimum, usually, because I want to try things on the menu. So usually I'll probably get like 2 appetizers. Depending on what time it is, how long we going to be there, who I'm with, or we going to be drinking. I'm drinking, period. What is my point? That I could pull out my card and pay for that shit. That's my point. So I don't need to go back and forth with anybody about splitting the bill, because you could give me my goddamn tab and I'm going to pay for it and be good. I'm good. Splitting the bill are for people who want to run up the fucking bill and then want somebody to help pay for theirs. This is a fact. I had to go back in the day. I had to go back into my mathematical. I'm not a big mathematician, but I was just like, why do people have such a problem with people who want their own ticket and receipt? Why are you mad? Why are you mad that people don't want to split the bill? And I had to realize it's because when you split the bill, you get a discount. There's a discount built in, because if everybody's splitting, then you can kind of do what you want to do. Now, as soon as you notice, if you're with a group of people, as soon as you notice a person that's only going to order their french fries, you should automatically know they're not trying to split this. So don't even fucking start. Oh, sorry. Don't even start. Damn. I'm trying not to OD curse, but Lord knows I love cussing. I be cussing, y'all. If you know me, you know how I get down. But, yeah, so people who want to split the bill are people who can't pay the $5. And I'm not mad if you can't pay the $5, but don't be mad at me, because I'm going to order what I want. And I'm going to order what I want because I could pay for what I want. Okay? Now, you ain't got to spill your guts about your financial situation just to eat. And I don't believe in if you can't pay, split the bill, then don't come out to eat. That's bullshit. Okay, that's bullshit. The same thing with tipping. People believe that if you can't tip, you shouldn't go out. What? How you gonna get your $2.25 per hour whether I tip or not? How you gonna make your hourly wage of $2 if I don't go out? You need me to go out whether I tip or not, just so you can get paid for them hours. Okay, but more importantly, tipping is like an American thing. You know what I mean? Under capitalism, like I keep telling y'all, money matters. And what matters about the money is they're willing to not pay you in order to make their bottom line. And what they try to do is pass that off to me. And so what you need to do is make sure your customer service is top tier and up to par. Okay, now I always tip regardless, because I know I am the person. I'm not going to make a big scene, but I'm also not going to accept whatever. I'm not a person who goes out and just accepts whatever comes to me. You know what I mean? If you're acting like a bitch, I'm going to say something. Because me too. You know, if you got somewhere else you can need to be, that's what you should be doing. Don't have an attitude as a server, because it ain't even about whether or not you are tipping them. For me, it's not even about that. It's like, fix your attitude. I'm not trying to eat around person. I don't want nobody bringing me my food and they got an attitude, because what is the problem? What is the problem? Okay? Now, I'm not going to get over yet. I'm going to wait. Or should I? No, let me do myself a favor right now, especially while I'm talking trash. But yeah, so as far as splitting the bill, I split the bill with my girls. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't, because I know they can pay, and I know they're not trying to play me. Okay? But it's just interesting to see on social media how people deal with it and get upset or think that if you can't tip, you shouldn't go out. I'm going to go out whether I want to tip or not, okay? Even, like I say, even though I know I'm still going to tip, the whole idea of don't go out and you should stay home. You should stay home, okay? I'm going to go out to eat, okay? Longhorn going to see me because I love that Parmesan spinach dip. It's so good. Anyway, I just had some the other day. It was so good. But anyway, but yeah. So yeah, but yeah, when I went to New York is the first time I really learned about tipping. And then after that, I mean, the girls, they had got upset and was looking at, and they said to me, it was said to me at the time, like, if I can't afford it, that's what they told me. If I can't afford it, then I should have said something. I was in shock, y'all. I was in shock. Like, if I can't afford it, that's why I asked for my own receipt. Like, what you, like, I didn't understand. It was just like, what do you mean if I can't afford it? I'm asking for my damn receipt. Of course I can afford what I just bought. I just told the waiter to bring me my shit. So I didn't realize, but you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just didn't know. I didn't know. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, trying to plead with the girls, like, I promise you, like, this is not about affordability. This is about, I don't know nothing about splitting no damn bill. Why the hell would I split a bill when I just ordered my own shit? Like, that just never was something that came up while I'm, throughout my life as far as trying to split the bill with people. You know what I mean? Now, I will say what I noticed in New York. Now, I'm about to cut all these people. It's really fucked up what I'm about to do, but it is what it is. This long line, I'm not staying in it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put my blinker on to let all the people know because I got to go. I'm not waiting. So, yeah, I'm going to hold up everybody behind me. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to make a little bit of space in case they want to slide past. But, I'm not, I can't wait in that line. I got to go to work. Thank you. Yeah, straight to the front for me. VIP. I just took a VIP slot. Excuse me, guys. I'm so trifling. But anyway, yeah, so I will split the bill with y'all. But don't ever think I can't afford all the shit I'm ordering. I'm not a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? But also, keep in mind, and this is something you need to consider with people that you do go out to eat with, and if you're expecting or wanting to split the bill. I wasn't planning on talking about this for this long, but this is important to me, that this is what you need to remember when people are out. You do need to consider whether or not somebody can afford it, okay? Because people should not have to stay home just because they can't afford to put up $100, okay? If they came out with a budget and their budget is $50, nobody should be getting clowned. Nobody should have a problem with that. You could eat for $50 or whatever, depending on where you know what I'm trying to say, depending on where you are. Whatever your budget is for the evening, for the day, for the dinner, for whatever. Your budget is your budget. The idea that you should not be able to go out and hang out because you can only spend so much is bullshit. And you're a trash friend if you think that people should not go out or they should not have to have a budget. We all got a budget. Whether you want to admit it or not, we all have a budget. Now, even if you can afford your own ticket, food, whatever, you on a budget too, because you ain't willing to put up $300-400, right? Okay, so let's not make it an issue. Okay, pissing me off. Let's not make it an issue of $100, but yet you don't want to spend $200. Well, then maybe somebody don't want to spend $100. Okay, consider that. Okay, think about that. You don't know what people got going on, and people should not have to I shouldn't have to not be able to enjoy myself out with friends, family, or whoever, just because right now I can only afford $60 to eat. That's enough to eat. That's enough for an appetizer, a meal, a drink, and potentially a damn dessert, depending on where you're going. You know what I mean? And so If you got a $60 budget for the evening, act accordingly. You know what I mean? But as a group and as an individual person, you do need to consider that when you're talking about splitting the bill with people, and whether or not you think they should be allowed to go out or have a good time with their little $60. And if you don't think they should, then you shouldn't go out with them. Because if that's all they could afford, then, you know, your friendship is going to tank with somebody because they only got $50, $60 for this particular outing. Yeah, then kick rocks. Kick rocks, because I'm going to go eat anyway. I take my $60 and go eat with somebody who don't give a damn. Okay? Go eat with somebody else who's spending $60 and then we're good. You know what I mean? Because I don't care. Whether I eat with a group or an individual, I'm going to order what I want. And I'm going to order it because I'm able to pay for it at the time, and that's that. If I go somewhere and I know I'm only coming up with $200, then that's it. That's the answer. And I'm not going back and forth with nobody about no goddamn appetizer. But yeah, I was shocked, you know what I'm saying? And I was appalled and horrified at the time, you know what I'm saying? Because I really was like, I know they're not saying or thinking I can't afford this. Like, and then they made it like, you know, they just didn't know that I genuinely didn't know nothing about splitting the bill. Like, I've been hanging out for years. And so to me, it was just like, y'all are questioning whether or not I could afford this. And if I couldn't afford to eat for today, I wouldn't have come out and then pretended to eat like nobody can have that story about me. Nobody will ever have a story like that about me. If I don't have any money and I want to go out, I'm going to let you know so that you could pay for me. So you could pay for me if you're able to. Okay, I want you to know in advance so we ain't looking stupid or whatever. But yeah, if we're going to split the bill, we can split the bill. But don't get it twisted. If we're going to split the bill, I'm still going to order what I want. And then we can split whatever that is. Okay? Okay, because we're going to be there for a couple of hours, baby. I'm going to drink. And we know drinking ain't cheap. And so, yeah, you want to split the bill with me, the bill going to go up. The bill going to go up, and we could do that. Or I could just pay for it myself. It's totally fine. But, yeah, that was just a trippy moment in time. And so, but, yeah, beware of people who always want to split the bill, knowing that they running shit up. And the truth is that they can't afford it. People who are pressed to split the bill are the people who are the ones who can't afford it. That's the truth. Because that means you have to stay within an ID. Like, you have to be aware of what everybody's ordering so you could order within the same range. So you can split. I don't have time to keep up with that. I want what I want off that damn menu. And so if we're going to split the bill, don't look at me like, Dad, you getting another one? Yeah, because my card going to go through. My card going to go through. That's why I'm getting another one. Because that did happen too. Like, oh, so you going, yes, I'm out to eat. And so it was just trippy. You know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, that was my experience with it. Every time I've ever split the bill, I have always paid more than what I've ordered. And that's how I know splitting the bill is for people who need help. And while it's not a problem to need help, it's interesting that people who don't want to split the bill, they're trying to flip the narrative about splitting the bill. And that's what's funny, and that's what's trippy, and that's what I ain't having, okay? You want to split the bill, we can do that. But you're going to watch me order what I would have ordered regardless, okay? All right. Now, I didn't get a chance to cover everything else I wanted to talk about today, so we're going to get into that on Friday. I think on Friday, I'm going to pay some of the $5 because I tried to make an appointment on this side where I work. I need to confirm that appointment, but I'm going to pay the $5 on Friday. I believe I'm going to pay the $5. I don't know if I'm going to pay the full $5, but I'm going to pay the $5. I'm going to get up and I'm going to come to work on Friday, but I can't say that I'm going to stay all day, but we'll see. But, anywho, y'all have a good day today. Don't let nobody piss you off because it ain't worth it. Okay? All right? We not splitting the bill, and we ain't splitting the anger. We ain't doing none of that. Okay? Not today. Tuesday is just like Monday. It's the same shit. Okay? Don't let Tuesday be the Tuesdays of all Tuesdays. All right? It's not worth it. Like I said, the people already died. It's already a mass shooting. Everybody drowned. Everybody died. The tornado hit everybody. The hurricane. The tsunami. You're not pissing me off about work, okay? I'm going to do something. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to get paid, and then I'm gone. And I suggest y'all do the same, all right? Y'all have a good day, and I will do the same, all right? Peace out, peeps.